You're watching HuffPostLive. I'm Nancy Red. People use meditation in many ways to find peace, to center themselves, or to gain perspective. And now you can do this with the help of some very familiar faces. Let's take a look.
Want more peace, purpose, and power in your life? Join Oprah and Deepak Chopra for the brand new 21-day meditation experience, Finding Your Flow. Register now. Go to oprah.com/meditate.
All right, you guys who are watching HuffPostLive can find your flow right now with Deepak Chopra himself. Hi, Deepak. Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, so you are working with Oprah on the Finding Your Flow experience. So many people want to know, what is flow?
Flow is a state where the right response to every situation occurs to you as it happens. There's no anticipation of response. There's no burden of memory. So you are literally in flow. It's lightness of being, which is our essential state when it's not overwhelmed by the mind.
All right, so how are 21 days effective in finding one's flow? Why the specific time frame of 21 days?
21 days is about the time it takes to start a habit. And so 21 days is what we picked. It starts to change the neural networks in your brain. But of course, if you want to reinforce that, then you need to continue the thing yourself, the process yourself. It takes about 66 days or so, we're told, to lock in the habit, to create that neural network in your brain. So that's why we chose 21 days.
Oh, well, people are really interested, and a lot of times they are interested in this journey, but they don't necessarily know what it means to meditate. We have a comment here from Marley K. Hi, I'm Marley, and I'm the social editor at AskMen.com. We're going to do an office-wide meditation challenge in April and document it for our readers, but a lot of us have never meditated before. Is there a wrong way to meditate? Do you have a recommended meditation plan for newbies? Could you think that AskMen.com can incorporate finding their flow into their meditation challenge, Deepak?
Yes. First of all, there's only one wrong way to meditate, and that is if you think there's any effort involved, then that would be wrong. Meditation is a process where you allow things to happen. One of the simplest ways to meditate is to just close your eyes and observe your breath. And as you observe your breath, you ask your mind to settle into your breath. And then you don't try to manipulate anything. You just stay there in simple awareness. Having said that, that's a very good way to start. And as I said, there's no wrong way to do it. But meditation has many components to it, and there are many kinds of meditation. So there are contemplative meditations, where you ponder on the deep meaning of existence and your own existence. There are reflective meditations where you ask yourself questions about who you are, what you want in life, what your purpose is, what you want in relationships and success and health, etc. There are other meditations that are simply, what are we calling these days, mindfulness, vipassana, where you become aware of your body or even the inside of your body, a process that's called introception, or you become aware of your mental space, which is sensations, images, feelings, or thoughts, or you become aware of relationships to the larger ecosystem of life. You become aware of the five senses. Then there are transcending meditations, which take you to a level of deep stillness and silence, which is beyond the mind. It's really getting in touch with what spiritual traditions call the soul. And finally, there are meditations that allow you to see the difference between the obvious and the not so obvious, between the visible and the non-visible. So, it's a huge discipline, an encyclopedia of discipline. What we try to do in our 21-day challenge is to incorporate some of the elements of everything I've said into a short meditation in 20 minutes or so. So we're trying to accomplish a lot by doing very little in this program.
Well, a lot in a little. That sounds like everyone's goal and dreams. But I want to just piggyback on what you said. You said how it can affect relationships. What are some specific ways meditation can affect our relationships?
Well, in spiritual traditions, your relationships are a reflection of yourself. So those that you're attracted to and those that you're repelled by are both, in a sense, a mirror. You're attracted to those people in whom you find traits that you have, but you want more of. That's why you like to hang around with them. And you're repelled by people in whom you find traits that you deny in your own self. So, relationship meditation is a pathway to spiritual growth. Instead of looking for the right person, you are in fact becoming the right person. And as you do that, then of course you attract that as a mirror.
Well, another thing people are wondering is what else can meditation help with? What are some specific ways meditation might help in other facets of their life? Like, say, for example, in the workplace.
In the workplace, meditation helps you tackle stress, which is a big thing in the workplace, and therefore allows you to be more centered, which is what you need to come up with creative responses to challenges that occur in work every day, instead of being reactive. Most people are reactive to the stress around them. But you have to recognize that stress is not in the work nor in you. It's how you interact with your environment. So once you learn that stress is like the waves on an ocean. If you're a skillful surfer, you enjoy every wave. If you're not prepared, of course, every wave is a disaster. So stress can help be tackled in the workplace through meditation, even instant meditations that require less than a minute, where you can interrupt that reactive response. But meditation can also help you decrease your blood pressure or give you better sleep, or there are many health benefits. Now we know that meditation, in fact, influences our gene activity. We are doing a study right now with 6 institutions, academic institutions, and our preliminary results show that meditation increases the level of enzymes that control how we age. It influences cell biology. It influences gene expression in the direction of homeostasis, which means balance, and away from inflammation, which is at the root cause of many illnesses, whether it's autoimmune illnesses or inflammatory diseases or cardiovascular illness, even some types of cancer. All this research is very new, and we'll be publishing it soon.
Well, it all sounds very exciting. Another aspect of a healthy adult life is sexual pleasure. Can meditation change one's sex life as well?
Well, in many aspects of the traditions of the East, spiritual energy is the same as sexual energy, because they're both creative energies of the universe. You need the sexual energy to create new life, but it's also the creative energy behind any creative work, whether it's music or art or science. You have some of the same flavors of experience that you have in peak experiences of sexuality. So they're very connected. By making you more awake, sexual pleasure and experiences enhanced. On the other hand, if you take alcohol or substances that suppress your awareness, then, as Shakespeare would have said, it increases the desire but takes away the performance.
Well, I know that these are such interesting facets of how one can find one's flow in so many different places, sexually, in the workplace, with their relationships. We also have some fans who have questions for you. They're so excited to find more about their flow and other things. First and foremost, we have in our Google Hangout, Gloria Roheim McCrae. She's the author of BYOB, The Unapologetic Guide to Being Your Own Boss, and Melissa Ramos. She's the founder of Sexy Food Therapy. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello,
thanks for...
Hi.
Well, Deepak, Gloria, and Melissa are so excited. They have been looking forward to this. Gloria, I think you have a great question for Deepak.
Well, of course I have many, but if I have to choose one, then I really would love to know, as a spiritual practitioner, as a teacher who's gone so deep in his practice and who inspires millions worldwide, what are the areas of your own spiritual practice that you're still working on?
Well, I've been doing meditation now for over 35 years, and I have my own practice, which is about 2 hours in the morning, from 4 to 6 in the morning, and you'll be kind of intrigued that I meditate a lot on how one can be awake in the experience of physical death. So how can you travel in consciousness to those domains of awareness which are seemingly unknown or unknowable? But that's not really true. Our underlying consciousness, the ground of your being, is the ground of all being, and therefore it's the ground of the universe. So in my in-depth meditations right now, I'm exploring what is called the unknowable, the experience of death.
Wow. Thank you.
All right, Gloria, I think we will have time for you to ask another question, but Melissa, we have to make sure that you get your chance as well.
Well, Deepak, thank you so much. It's an honor to be able to speak with you today. And as a nutritionist and an acupuncturist myself, I'm, so fascinated with everything that you do. But in my question specifically, I want to ask you about your thoughts about food. I know that you've written a cookbook, and in your book, What Are You Hungry For?, you speak about a term called spiritual hunger. So I was wondering, what actionable steps could you provide people with to be able to identify what they're spiritually hungry for?
Well, people put food in their body only for one of two reasons. Okay, one is they're physically hungry. They need nutritious food, and the best nutrition is what comes under the term of phytochemicals. These are chemicals derived from the energy of the sun, which have the 6 tastes of life: sweet, sour, salt, bitter, pungent, and the 7 colors of the rainbow. That's the best food in the world. It's nutritious food because it's coming from the energy of the sun. The second thing people are hungry for is love and attention and affection and appreciation and all that goes, with the heart. So they're hungry in the heart. And the third thing they're hungry for is spiritual hunger, which is meaning, purpose. Who am I? What do I want? What's my life purpose? Do I have a soul? Does God exist? What happens to me after I die, etc. That is the highest level of hunger, you might say. But unless you fulfill your other 2 hungers, you have a healthy body and you have a healthy emotional life, you're not really fully ready for spiritual hunger or the meaning or the answers for spiritual hunger.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
And Deepak, it's important to know both Gloria and Melissa are business owners. And Gloria, I think finding one's flow as a business owner is an especially complicated task sometimes, leading to your next question.
I love it. Thanks so much. Yes, Deepak, I think a lot lately about the flow of energy and money and abundance. And, you hear the word abundance and ease really floated around a lot of conversations, even in the business world, which is a miracle these days. But what does it really mean? And I have noticed that when I put the least amount of effort into things, and when I think things aren't going to come together, that's when I make the most money in business. And when I try and I set goals and I push, it's like resistance shows up and nothing flows in. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you think? So
I think we should first of all make a distinction between wealth and money. So wealth is a state of consciousness which allows you to tap into the experience of abundance. Money is its symbol. We should not confuse money with wealth, because there are a lot of people out there who are making money to make money to make money to make money. And they don't even have time to enjoy their money because they're so busy making money to make money. So they have no time for vacations, family life, joy in their life. Their entire identity is their net worth in the stock market or whatever. On the other hand, if you have abundance consciousness, which is wealth consciousness, then money will flow as a symbol, but you have to know that as a difference. So what is valuable in your life is what determines your values, right? And the money that flows through the world's markets today is based on what is valuable to people. So you have to understand values, and abundance and money. There's a continuum here. And, if your values are very fundamental, then in the world right now, the big sources of wealth are weapons trading, pornography, Hollywood, mostly B-class movies, etc. But as our values shift into relationship, then the source of abundance is going to be what is going to make business valuable in improving the quality of life. I do regular posts on LinkedIn about this. So as somebody advising a business owner is focus not on networking, but building relationships with your customers, with your investors, with your employees. Employee loyalty, customer loyalty, investor loyalty are inseparable. And of those things, the most important is the people you work directly with. That is, people who work for you or are your employees. Because if you have employee loyalty, you'll have customer loyalty, you'll have investor loyalty. Focus on that.
Now, Deepak, I want to talk about the people who are on the other side of the fence, the employees, frequently at a low level, who do not have much in the way of money or power or anything that might make this journey a little bit easier. What do you say to the individual who can't get by, who's not making enough money, who is struggling in their day-to-day life, can't pay their bills? What do you say to them when the topic of freeing oneself, of meditation, of finding one's flow, when one can't even find enough money in their bank account to pay their bills?
If they are unemployed, this is the time, this is the opportunity for becoming an entrepreneur. Find out what you're passionate about. Find out who needs the experience that you can offer them. What are your unique skills and talents? What are you passionate about? And find out who needs those. So if I'm a chef and I like to cook, I create a chef business, and I also partner with other people who have the same idea, and I offer this business online. This is the time of real entrepreneurship and the time to connect with others. But if you have an employee, then I think you have to not only reward them financially for their work they do, but give them recognition. If you give people recognition and you give them opportunities to express their creativity and you give them financial rewards, that employee is going to perform for you.
Do you think this is the model American employers tend to follow often?
We are shifting, in that direction right now. As I said, I post regularly on business practices on LinkedIn and other sites, and there's a huge audience for that, and people are finding ways to connect with each other, and I think we're shifting in the direction of what I would call social entrepreneurship, just capitalism, and cause-driven marketing.
Well, one of the things that I'm sure you're aware of here at the Huffington Post is we're dedicated to unpacking the issues of the third metric, which is, I'm sure you know, finding success beyond money and power. Now, in your case, you are very successful, and you have a lot of power, and you have a lot of money. If money and power were stripped away, would you feel as successful, Deepak?
Well, the money and power came as a byproduct of my passion for sharing what I was learning about health and well-being. They were not something I pursued directly. My mantra always was pursue excellence and ignore success. Sing your song. As you know, Rumi says, I want to sing like birds sing, not worrying who listens or what they think. And if you can do that, then money and power will follow. What the third metric is also saying, Ariana is saying, is focus on your well-being, because if you can't focus on your well-being, then you're not going to be good at anything, so get enough rest, meditate, exercise, divide your time. There's technology time, there's focused work time, there's relaxation time, there is downtime, there is play time, and there's relationship time. So focus on everything and do it one thing at a time, because multitasking is the one thing that gets worse with practice.
Well, goodness, you're talking to a group of entrepreneurs. Multitasking is seemingly the only way you can get anything done. Well, like you mentioned, if you're unemployed, it's a great time to be an entrepreneur. Well, what if you're an unemployed mama or father of 8? You're trying to get your business off the ground. Multitasking seems like the only option.
No, you can do all those things if you do them one at a time and you focus on them one at a time. That's the very definition of mindfulness, because your brain cannot handle more than one thing. Your cortical brain, not your reptilian brain or midbrain, that handles many things. But your conscious brain can only do one thing at a time. So even when you're multitasking, what you're doing is you're switching from one thing to another. You're not doing many things all at the same time. So you might as well do what you're doing with focused awareness and then switch. So it's just a question of how focused are you in the moment. If you realize that the best time in your life is now, if the best relationship that you can have is the person who's in front of you right now, that the best way to get a future is to be focused in what you're doing now, and that now is the only moment that never ends, and you can be fully present to it, you'll be much more effective. If you're distracted, then you're not present.
Well, hopefully no one's distracted for your 21-day meditation experience. We are grateful that you were able to join us today.
I'm grateful to have the opportunity.
And Melissa and Gloria, we're glad that you were able to join us. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you. Thanks. See you in Toronto.
Now, the 21-day meditation experience with Oprah and Deepak starts on April 14th. Registration is open now. For more information, visit our resource wheel underneath this video screen and stay here with HuffPost Live, where, as you know, the conversation always continues.